Hello children, welcome to my channel Study Time और आज हम क्वेश्चन आंसर्स करेंगे from the chapter 15. I go to styles of class 8 from the book New Images. So let's begin. A1 part is answer these questions. Here the question number 1 is what happened after Hastings returned home injured from the front. अब जब हेस्टिंग he was in World War I तो जब when he got injured तो क्या होता है? After Hastings returned home injured from the front, he was given a month's sick leave. After spending some months in a depressing convalescent home. What's the meaning of convalescent home? It's an institution for the care of convalescing people. Means it's kind of a nursing home with the health facilities where a person are housed and furnished with meals and nursing care for hire. Question number 2 is what did John inform about his mother to Hastings and how did Hastings react? So John told Hastings that his mother had married again. It was a great surprise for Hastings. Number 3, what all did Hastings remember about Mrs. Cavendish? जो Hastings था पहले से Mrs. Cavendish को जानता था, so वो उनके बारे में क्या-क्या याद करता है? Hastings remembered Mrs. Cavendish as being energetic and boozy and who liked to do charitable work, generous and with a large fortune. She had married John's father and charmed him. तो उसकी जो शादी थी जॉन के फादर से हुई थी. शी वॉज बॉसी टाइप ऑफ अ पर्सन मीन्स लाइकिंग टू गिव ऑर्डर्स टू अदर पीपल. तो वो इस टाइप की लेडी थी, काफ़ी एनर्जेटिक भी थी, चैरिटेबल वर्क भी करती थी और उसके पास एक लार्ज फॉर्च्यून था बिकॉज जॉन के फादर व्हेन ही डाइड तो उसने अपनी सारी प्रॉपर्टी मिसेस कैवेंडिश को दे दी थी. Question number 4, what kind of a husband was Mr. Cavendish? What had he done? Mr. Cavendish was a devoted husband. तो वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा devoted husband था. In fact, a better husband than a father. क्यों? क्योंकि when he died, he left his fortune to his wife instead to his sons. तो अपने बेटों को नहीं दिया अपनी property, but he gave it to his wife. He gave all of it to her. Describe the village of St. Mary. St. Mary का village कैसा था? The village of Styles, St. Mary was in Essex and was green and peaceful. Question number 6. How do John and his wife spend their time at the farm? तो वो क्या-क्या काम करते थे? John and his wife spent their time at the farm, leading what he called an idle life. तो उसे idle life समझते थे वो. He drilled a couple of times a week with the volunteers while his wife worked on the land, waking up at 5 a.m. to milk and working till lunch time. तो ये उनकी वो idle life थी. What was Cynthia? What did she do? Cynthia was the daughter. Who was Cynthia and what did she do? Cynthia was the daughter of an old school friend of Mrs. Cavendish, who had married a solicitor who died, leaving her penniless and an orphan. She worked in the Red Cross hospital. The solicitor क्या होता है? Solicitor is a kind of a lawyer whose job is to give advice, prepare legal documents, etc. Question number 8. Mr. Hastings felt distinctly glad that he had accepted John's invitation. Why did he feel like that? Felt distinctly glad, or distinctly means clearly, very particularly. So she was very glad that he had accepted John's invitation. So Mr. Hastings felt distinctly glad that he had accepted John's invitation because the village life was so peaceful and idyllic and a good contrast to the war that had wounded him, है ना? तो उसके बिल्कुल opposite थी और वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा idyllic life थी, very pleasant and peaceful. जो idyllic का मतलब होता है to be perfect, to be very pleasant, peaceful थी वहाँ की life जो उसे बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छी लग रही थी. Question number 9. What was Miss Howard's opinion about crime fiction? Did Hastings agree with it? Miss Howard's का opinion क्या था about crime fiction is that a lot of nonsense is written because the family always knows who has committed the crime, and Hastings doesn't agree with it. Hastings उनके साथ agree नहीं करता था. Draw a character sketch of Mr. Hastings. अब Mr. Hastings का क्या character sketch है? Captain Hastings is the narrator of the story. It is a fictional character created by Agatha Christie. Although he has served in the army, Hastings is not a ruthless man by nature. He is well educated and likes to mingle in social situations. He is also confident in building relations with women he meets and likes, and he also had a secret hankering to be a detective. A two-part, answer these questions with reference to the context. First one is, the fellow is an absolute outsider. Anyone can see that. Who said these words and to whom? John says these words to Hastings. And who was the fellow being referred to in the given sentence? The fellow being referred to is Alfred Inglethorp. तो इसी से उसकी मदर की शादी हुई थी मिसेस कैवेंडिश की. She was also stepmother to him. And who was he? An absolute outsider. He is an absolute outsider because he isn't like English country folk. In that he was a huge black beard and wears patent leather shoes. तो वो इस तरह से थोड़ा अलग टाइप का था. पेटेंट लेदर शूज होते हैं टाइप ऑफ लेदर विच इज वेरी हार्ड विद अ शाइनी सरफेस. The second part is strange infatuation of an otherwise sensible woman. Who is the speaker referring to in the above sentence? The speaker is referring to Mrs. Cavendish. Okay, and who was the woman infatuated with? Infatuated means to fall in love. But in a way that makes you foolish, to be extremely interested in someone. Okay, so उसको कहते हैं infatuation. किसी से बहुत ही ज़्यादा प्यार करना, तो वो infatuation होती है. The woman was infatuated with Alfred Inglethorp. And the C part is, why did the speaker find the woman infatuation as strange? The speaker found the infatuation strange because the man she was interested in was so much younger than her and so different from her. तो उनमें कोई ऐसा कुछ similarity नहीं थी. They were totally different from each other, and his age was also very much less than Mrs. Cavendish. Third part is solidifying your regular profession, Mr. Hastings. So, who said this words and when? Alfred Inglethorp asked Hastings this question, and what did Hastings tell about his profession? Hastings said that he was at Lloyd's before the war but wasn't sure that he would return to it. अब Lloyd क्या है? Lloyd एक insurance market है located in London. Okay, and the C part is, what was his dream profession? His dream profession was to be a detective. तो इसका जो dream profession है तो उसको detective बनना चाहता था. Now we'll go to A3 part, think and answer. Question number 1. Who do you think is the protagonist in the excerpt? I go to styles. Give reason for your answer. तो इसमें जो protagonist है वो कौन है? So the protagonist in I go to styles is Hastings because it is in the name of the chapter and everything is told from his point of view. तो उसके जो है उसी के point of view से पूरी story को देखा जा रहा है. जो protagonist होता है वो main character होता है. तो यहाँ पे जो Hastings है उसको ही main character माना गया है, protagonist माना गया है because everything is told from his point of view. He is a narrator of the story here. Question number 2. What is your opinion about Mrs. Emily Inglethorp? Discuss her character in brief. Mrs. Emily Inglethorp seems to be a complex character whose motives are unclear. She comes across as generous and kind, but there is something a little strange about her. Thank you so much. I hope कि आपको ये सब question answer समझ आ गए होंगे. Hope you like my video. Kindly share and subscribe.